What grinds my gears? Advice about getting a mining job online. Welcome to Underground Training, and today I'm going to have a chat to you about the advice that's going around about getting into the mining industry online. Because at the moment, you've got a lot of people that are giving advice out, but it's very specific to the area of the industry that they're located in. Because the one thing that you've got to remember about mining, it's not just one mineral. Mining as a whole is made up of a whole heap of different sections and areas that are all chasing different minerals and different products, and that's what gives it a big diversity that holds it in good stead through booms and busts. And at the moment we've got a situation where part of the industry is going through a bust, part of the industry is treading water, and part of the industry is going through a boom. And I wrote an article about it the other day, so bust and boom, the tale of Australia's two mining industries. And this is where it basically comes down to. If people are giving you advice about getting a mining job and they're not telling you about these different facets to the industry of what's going on, then the advice that they're probably giving you is very poor advice, or it's only coming from one particular place. So at the moment, lithium and nickel are in a downturn. So the price has fallen down, so it's in a bust cycle. There's a lot of mines that have gone put into care and maintenance. Coal and iron ore, the price has fallen significantly. They've gone to driverless trucks, which means that there's not that many jobs around at the moment in that area of the industry, so it's just treading water. The real area where it's gone bang is gold, and to a lesser extent copper. And so if you come over and have a look at the map, and this maps all the gold and the base metal mines around the country that are looking for people, because it is a nuanced thing. Because what you need to understand about mining is the same method that we use for mining in the gold mines are the same method that we use in the nickel and the copper and the lithium and the zinc and the silver and all those sort of mines. And while lithium and nickel are going through a downturn, there are some rather large lithium and nickel mines that still remain open because they were pre-sold, and those mines actually need people as well. So the gold mines, where the price is really high, is sucking all the experience out of the other mines because they can afford to pay more money for wages, and the lithium and the nickel mines that are looking for people, or they're getting stuck with having to train people on some of these sites as well because they just can't find anybody because they can't pay as much as gold has. And that happens traditionally all over, that has happened traditionally a lot of times when we go through this boom and the bust. But the point about this is that when you're getting advice off the internet, if they're not telling you the whole story and how the fact that it is quite a nuanced industry and you need to understand the whole playing field before you make a decision about where you're going to go and what you're going to do, if they're just giving you a small slice of the pie, so to speak, then it makes your decision making ability to actually understand whether you want to do it or not, or where you're going to go to get a job, or where you're going to spend your money on training and all that sort of stuff. It makes it really hard to make a really good decision. And some of the examples that I'll go to now are tickets. So if you come over here onto the Australian Mining for New Starters page and you just write tickets in the hourglass here, you'll see all the videos that I've done on tickets. And if you're a long-time subscriber to the channel, sorry for repeating myself, but you just need people that are just watching this video for the first time and are just trying to gather some mining advice. You need to look at these videos on tickets, because the majority of the hard rock mines around the country, the employers can't use import equipment tickets on site. They have to issue their own on-site equipment tickets. So if you come at an employer with a bunch of R2 equipment tickets that they can't use, all you're screaming to them is that you don't know how their mine works. And it's the same thing with the S11. A lot of people get online and say, they've done their S11, they've done their haul truck, and now they want a job in a gold mine. The S11 is only for coal in Queensland. It's an induction for coal in Queensland. You don't need to do it if you're going to work in any of the hard rock mines in Queensland. You just have to look at a job ad for that. So anybody that's telling you that you need to do an S11 to get a job in mining is giving you very poor information. And you can have a look at these videos that I've done over the years on it, because it's a widespread problem. There's a lot of people trying to sell people a lot of stuff around the place that just isn't going to help you get a mining job. If you want to spend some money on learning something, learn how the mine works. That's the way to get into the industry, is to actually be able to have a conversation with the foreman in the interview about what's going on and what's happening. And the other thing, that the advice that goes around all the time, and this really annoys me, this one, is the poaching rules. Is that, people tell you that you can go and jump in as a utility, and, you'll get to know the boss, and then the boss of the other company will give you a job, and it'll be easy as that. They brought these poaching rules in 25 years ago now to stop this. So the way it works is that most of the contracting companies have got it written into their contract that when you go up to site with them, and it's the same with the mining companies as well, to protect themselves as well, that if you go up to site with a company and then you change from one company to another company, then you have to go off site for 6 months before you can come back on site. And that makes poaching virtually impossible on most sites, unless you know a big boss that can bend the rules for you, which does happen every now and then. But the general idea of that is to let the catering company assemble a workforce that's not going to get poached all the time on them, because that's what was happening back in the day, and that's why they changed it. But now what's happened with the poaching rules is that it's just trapped people in these jobs, and you can go through and look at all the videos that I've done on that to have a look at how all that works. So if you want a mining job these days, the best place to look is in the hard rock underground space, and you can see all the jobs come up when you just scroll through it. There's jobs all over the country. We also load them up on our mining jobs to apply for page. So this is our mining jobs to apply for page. It's where we load up all the jobs from around the country that we think you should be applying for. And as you can see, there's jobs just everywhere. So if you want to try and get one of these jobs, then I suggest you do a bit of training. We do our online training packages, and you can do packages that come with a resume, or you can do our full work ready, and that's the one where you get one of the shift bosses like myself to help you with it all, so you understand all the mining information. But the best thing to do is to spend the $4.95 and learn how the mine works, and make sure it's going to be for you, because I see a lot of people jump into mining blindly with rose-coloured glasses on. They sort of relocate themselves from the eastern states to Kalgoorlie or to Perth, and then they get up onto site and they only last 5 minutes, because when they actually find out what the mining job is and what it entails, they don't want to do it anymore. And that's the beautiful thing about the training, is that it teaches you exactly how the mine works and all the good stuff and the bad stuff about the jobs, and it goes through everything that your buddy should be showing you down the hole, so you know what you're getting yourself into, the good stuff and the bad. And that allows you to have a proper conversation with the foreman in the interview, and when you can talk to them about refuge chambers and cap lamp signals and stench gas and all that sort of wonderful stuff, puts you 6 to 8 weeks ahead of everybody else that they're interviewing. And that's how you get a job. It's all about making yourself an easy win for the mining employers. But yeah, as far as mining advice goes on the internet, if you get somebody that's only talking specifically about one area of the industry, you should take their advice not with a grain of salt, but you need to take their advice in that, knowing that they are only talking about one small section of the industry, and they're not giving you a look at what's going on across the industry. Because at the moment, if you're trying to get a coal or an iron ore job, you're probably competing with 10,000 other people for a couple of jobs, for a handful of jobs. Whereas if you're going for a gold or a copper job on one of the mines around the country, you don't have that much competition, because people just aren't looking in those areas, and they just don't end up doing the things that the employers want to get them through the door. So we just had a guy get a job in New South Wales. He started up on the Gold Coast. He did our work ready package about 8 weeks ago, and he's just walked straight into a job in New South Wales. I'll give him a shout out in the next video and go through more of his story. But yeah, it just shows you that if you know how it all works, you've got something to offer the employers. So that's what grinds my gears. People that talk about mining information online that really don't know what they're talking about, or they've got a very limited exposure to the industry. So if you are only getting one side of the story from the person, they're telling you, oh no, it's a bust, there's no jobs, or they're telling you, oh no, there's jobs everywhere, you're probably only getting a very small section of what's actually going on in the industry. So before you jump into the deep end and try and get yourself a job, just make sure you do your research and you get a good look at what's going on in the industry, and then you can make an informed decision about where the jobs are. And that way you can be successful as quickly as possible and not waste your time, and not waste the employer's times either. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you've got any questions about the industry, please send them through, and if you could share this information around and like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.